there, y'all. So now we have butchered the chicken, and we're going to show you how we separate out the pieces of what we keep and how I tend to cut it up. So let's take a look in here. As I have said before, we do bone broth, so we save the legs or the feet, the neck skin and the neck itself, and several organs, but we actually have been separating those out separately. Let me just rinse my hands for a sec. Alrighty, and then I am going to put the items for bone broth in its own bag, and if you see, most of the air has been removed. Now, I wouldn't be able to get that much air out just using my hands, so we will soon be posting a video how we did this without using any kind of fancy equipment. Now, the method that we will be using isn't as good as a vacuum sealer, but it's definitely better than this. So come back for that video soon. And then for the organ meat, we actually put those in either its own Ziploc bag, or we're right now putting it in this container because we are planning on frying some up soon. So there goes the heart, the liver, and the gizzard, which is the stomach. Alrighty, and we'll be putting those back in the refrigerator. And we do put our chickens or chicken components in the refrigerator for 24 to 48 hours to let the meat age in a cool space. Some people do it in a ice bath in a cooler, and that works perfectly fine as well. But because we don't do a lot of animals all at once, we have usually enough room in our refrigerator to do that. If we don't put them in the refrigerator, we crock pot it the same day. And this one's been going for less than 4 hours. At the 4-hour mark, we will see if the meat is cooked, and if it is, we'll remove the chicken from that particular crock pot. We'll shred the meat, save that for another meal, and stick everything else back in that crock pot to make bone broth. Now, what we might actually do tonight is remove the juices as well before we put the chicken bones and cartilage back in. That way we have chicken broth to use for other meals, and then we'll put more water in to make our actual bone broth. Bone broth. Let me get the right emphasis on those words there. Alright, so let me go ahead and show you how we cut this chicken up, but first I'm going to go ahead and put this stuff back in the refrigerator. Now let's cut up this bird. So what I've seen online and what I feel is the best advice I've seen is let gravity help you. I have never been good at seeing joints, but what I saw online, and I'll have to look for the videos and I'll probably put them in the description below, is if you hold any particular carcass that you're cutting up in the air and let the weight of gravity show you where your cutting points are, it really, really helps. So we're going to cut basically in the creases. So I'm going to start cutting this skin, and I'm going down to the bottom. Alright, once I get it to that point, if I can, I'm going to bend back against the direction the joint normally goes, and that releases that bone, which is why we don't want to bend our knees backwards. Not so good for pain management, but great if you're actually butchering meat once you've harvested your animals. And then again, I'm kind of holding it upwards and letting gravity help me, and I'm just cutting across, cutting between that joint because I don't want to hit the bone and dull my knife. And then there is my thigh and my drumstick. Again, not the prettiest in the world, but it's a lot better than what I used to do. And so we're going to save this Usually we'll save this separate from the rest of the chicken, because we usually cut the wings off but put the wings and the main part of the chicken in the crock pot, and then we'll do something separate with these, like maybe a King Ranch chicken with a cream of some sort of soup, and then some cheese and seasoning. So I'm going to flip it to the other side, and again, let gravity help me. And then once I get it cut down, I'm going to set my knife down, and then I'm going to bend back the other direction from normal. Okay, this is giving me some trouble because the infrastructure is getting a little bit compromised because there's not everything holding it together. So I've now cut through the meat, trying to stay as close to the hip bones as I can. And now I'm going to try again and turn it opposite. And there we go. That joint just popped out of place. And now I'm going to cut through the tendons that are surrounding it, kind of lift the bird up. Again, let gravity help me, and cut the skin that's back behind. And there's that last little tendon. All right, and there's the other side. Okay. And again, as we said in the actual butchering video, if you can keep your joints round, that saves the bag from getting punctured whenever you store your meat inside. And so now I'm going to lift at the wing, and I'm going to start cutting at the armpit. Again, it's a crease. And then at the shoulder, well, let me first bend back, because I felt bone there, so I apparently was not cutting at the right spot. Alright. What's the matter, sir? What about Leo? Okay, pause it. Alright, so I was having trouble with this one, so I had to feel with my fingers. I felt what I think is the spot between the joints, and sure enough, there it is. So I made a little cut, and now I'm going to again cut at a crease. Go below me. There it is. There we go. And sometimes you just have to cut around until you can see what's going on. All right. This one obviously is not pretty, so if you're doing wings as a dish, you want to practice at that. But since we're throwing it in the crock pot for bone broth, I'm good with that. And so I'll just do the same to the other side, and then I'll make sure that everything is cleaned out. Looks like there's still a little bit of lung in there that I forgot to get out, or I wasn't able to get out. And then we will store it in the refrigerator 24-48 hours, let the meat age, and then we'll stick it in the freezer and enjoy at a later date. Thank y'all so much for joining. God bless and have a great day, and we hope to see you back here at Kooker Gehoofd.
Watching the video, push the thumbs up to like the video. Also hit that subscribe button, also the bell, so that you can get notifications when our videos come out.
Check us out on our social media pages too. The links are below. Bye y'all.
Bye.